The 2014 Ugandan National Census results indicate that the population of Uganda currently stands at 35 million, and despite the overwhelming population growth rate, the level of service delivery is still so low, slow, and is not proportionate to the rate of population growth. The youth in Uganda form the largest part of the population, contributing to the context of the youth bulge as one of the special interest groups that have suffered the most inadequacies of service delivery.
At that time, when it came to issues of local government service delivery, the whole local governance discussion, there was a missing link between, decentralization and opportunities that come along vis-a-vis local accountability or citizen involvement in trying to make sure that these local governments work better for them by improving their lives and creating better opportunities and better lives.
And if we were to nurture them to engage with their governance systems, then we needed to work with different groups of youth or youth groups or individuals to help them understand how government works and help them effectively engage. So we chose AYDL as one of the partners we could work with.
African Youth Development Link. It's an institution that we founded with a team of young committed Ugandans, and we're looking at different ways of how we would link the young people with the development and policy processes or governance processes. Because at the time we founded, there was a huge disconnect between young people involving themselves in processes and decision-making platforms that would, in one or the other, ensure that their voices are captured, their voices are respected, and eventually they are translated into better services.
The African Youth Development Link, with support from USAID, UKAID, under the Governance Accountability Participation Performance Program, is implementing a 4-year project dubbed Hours by Obligation.
The project, the Hours by Obligation, ultimately the goal was how do we enhance youth participation in local governance accountability and improving service delivery. Because oftentimes, the political and the technical leadership within the district felt that they were not obliged to engage and relate or account to the young people. So that's why we were like, it's ours by obligation.
It's a program that has been empowering the youth to demand for services, and they have been implementing a number of activities in the district. There's been youth parliament, and I've been participating in it very well, and the youth have been empowered in such a way that they would bring out the issues that affect them, and they would hold the district officials, the service providers accountable. And by that, very many issues got corrected in primary schools, in health facilities, and also some government programs where there was laxity. The implementers changed, and indeed the youth were benefiting.
The project is implemented in the districts of Oyam, Amur in northern Uganda, and at the national level.
So in Amuru, we focused on sub-counties because usually we didn't want to actually be very much at the district level. We wanted to ground these initiatives so that there's a bit of a bottom-up recognition and many opportunities can come from that level, working, of course, very much within the local council youth structures, but at the same time also working with the councillors and working with the district leadership, both the political and the technical, but also other civil society agencies, faith and cultural actors who really have a lot of influence and have a lot of platforms, and they can invest in making sure that we guide collectively this generation towards the better future that we want.
This project has actually improved relationship between the district and the youth in such a way that we have been working together with the youth as a team, especially during implementation of government programs, because they have been actually carrying out a lot of activities related to this project. You have the African Youth Development Link project, and we have been coordinating the youth. They have been reporting issues in relation to implementation of government programs and also service delivery for the youth.
It has made us to understand what we never understood. We actually also learned the protocols to follow when we need to get something from our government back to the community.
Through innovative program activities such as youth trekkers, volunteer service corps, female youth mentoring, youth-led monitoring of service delivery in health centers, schools, and youth livelihoods, African Youth Development Link has been able to achieve increased social accountability and service delivery to youth in Oyam and Amur districts.
We raised the complaint of a nurse. We had the nurse was not really well trained, but they brought in a new well-trained nurse who has skills, and she works 24 hours for any kind of emergency.
As the leaders being elected from the schools, we went up to them and also we verify exactly how they are delivering service to the youth, both within the schools and outside the schools, and also within our community at large. So far we have put 6 talking companies in our schools, which has made the school to look nice. It contains a lot of information.
They've been monitoring absenteeism by teachers and pupils, hygiene, and so on. So all these areas, there's been a lot of improvements. I remember there's a primary school called Anyeke, not very far from the district headquarters. There were no toilets for girls. They were sharing latrine strands between boys and girls and the teachers. But because of this project, the parents were mobilized and they were able to construct toilets for the girls separately, for the boys separately, and for the teachers.
Improved understanding of youth challenges by the youth, community and duty bearers for collective action. Increased responsiveness to youth service delivery needs and demands by local government actors.
Even the health workers, the medical workers, are now committed to their work because they are very reluctant. We are not actually going for work, but the youth have been monitoring, even in terms of the drug stock out. It has been a great challenge, but the youth have been advocating for that through the DHO's office.
With the rapid growth of Uganda's population, it's important to note 3/4 of the population are below the age of 30 years, most with a primary and secondary education. A strong focus on job creation for this cohort of people cannot be overemphasized.
In Oyam here, there's been a lot of high crime rate because the youth have been redundant. But with this program, many youth are now engaging themselves into entrepreneurship. At least they know they can do something.
We had youth trekkers, which are members of Amuro Youth Advocacy Foundations, which were trained on self-discovery and how to generate life for themselves.
From the training I got from the African Youth Development Link, I come up, then I start that business of tailoring. Now I can make like a dress, I make like a trouser, the gomas, and even this is the fashion of Dechstenge because they are marketable in our village here and people like them. This is what I'm basing on in the business, and even I have the small material as you've seen. Likely even I started to make my fellow youths to learn also how to make clothes. Now they are also in the future they become a tailor like me.
Despite the efforts to increase access to primary and secondary education, only 57% of children complete primary education, with a large amount of dropouts being girls.
Culture has been diminishing female participation, but as I speak now, in all sectors, female youth are seriously engaged. If you are to look at Youth Livelihood Project, which we have been talking about, the number of beneficiaries under this project, the female, for every project, you will find that there are at least 50%. It has been possible through our mobilizations as Amuro Youth Advocacy Foundations.
Training of female councillors, and I'm so proud about this because in my district in Oyam, the ladies were almost not there, and yet there are so many issues that have been affecting them. Gender-based violence, they would not know even where to report the cases, where to go to, so many cases of separation and so on. But with this program, the women, the girls, the youth were able to know their rights and demand for services that would protect them.
Youth continue to express frustration at being excluded from the decision-making, planning, and implementation of government programs that could benefit them.
Because generally people believe the youth are a disorganized group.
There's a tendency to look at the young people, like I said, as people who are unfocused, disorganized, they don't know what they want, they don't even know what their future is, as people who are really cannot even take risks. They're impatient, and you know, they give this sort of negative connotation and description to the young people, and we wanted to change that narrative. The narrative to the narrative of positivity, that these folks really have potential, they have talent, they have great energies.
Youth are not problems to this community or to the world. They know what they want, but what they lack is guidance. Youth should be guided. Through guidance, the world would be changed.
Those involved in youth work are involved in very important work. This is the largest constituency, and it is actually the constituency of the future. And therefore we should nurture our competences and grow them and hone them so that when those opportunities come, we are able to make the biggest contribution. At the same time, some young people don't think they have anything to contribute, but we need all their knowledge, we need all their skills, we need all their experience for this country to move forward. So I thank AYDL for the work they've done and other youth groups and encourage them to do more.